माने आशा आर ना कोरी हो माने आशा श्री गुरु चरणे रति ऐसे उत्तम गति श्री गुरु चरणे रति ऐसे उत्तम गति जे प्रसादे पूरे सर्व आशा प्रसादे पूरे सर्व आशा चकुदान दिलो जे जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से चकुदान दिलो जे जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशित दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशित प्रेम भक्ति जहा होते अविद्या विनाश जते प्रेम भक्ति जहा होते अविद्या विनाश जते वेद गाय जहर चरितो वेद गाय जहर चरितो श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु आधम जनरा बंधु श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु आधम जो नर बंधु बोलो लोकनाथ लोकेर जीवाना ओ लोकनाथ लोकेर जीवाना बोलो हा हा प्रभु करो दया देह मोरे पाद छोया प्रभु करो दया देह मोरे पाद छाया बेकाश कुशुति भुवाना बेकाश कुशुति भुवाना शिला प्रभुपाद पतित पावन Srila Prabhupada Patita Pavana Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashtachadeshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Chaitanya Chandra Nitai, Gaura Chandra Gaura Hare. Jayo Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Jayo Gaura Nitai. Jayo Radha Nila Madhurada, Nila Madhur Shri Radhe. Jayo Radha Radha, Giridhari Shri Radhe. Radha Damodara, Radha Damodara Shri Radhe. Radha Shyama Sundar, Radha Shyama Sundar Shri Radhe. Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan. Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Nitya Go Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Gora Hari Bo. Nitya Go Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Gora Hari Bo.
Vishnupad Paramahamsa, Parirajikacharya, Stotra Shatra, Sri Srimad, His Divine Grace, Shalasi Bhaktivedanta Swami, Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa, Parirajikacharya, Stotra Shatra, Sri Srimad, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, Prabhupada Ki Jai. Iskcon founder, Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Giradhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Yamuna Mai Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shrimati Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki, Shri Harinam Sankirtana Ki, Namaveda Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki, Nitai Gaura Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga.
Haribo. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha गिरिवरधारी जय गोपीजनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपीजनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपीजनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदनन्दन व्रज रञ्जन यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनातीरावनचारी 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 जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, श्रील गुरुदेव की जय, गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Hare Krishna. Welcome to our Sunday, sorry, not Sunday feast class. Whatever. Srimad Bhagavatam class. I'm still in the mood already. Sunday. Welcome to the Srimad Bhagavatam class. Today we are reading from Canto 7, Chapter 10, titled Prahlada, the best among exalted devotees. In fact, we will be finishing the Prahlada's wonderful pastime, the narration today. And we'll be actually reading the Falastuti, or the what happens if you hear such a narration. What benefit do you get if you hear such a narration? So we'll be reading text 47. You're already there? Actually, I want to read the text 46. Can you go to 46, Kanna? These both texts are connected, so I want to read both of these texts. Text 46. Go to the Sanskrit, please. Etat akyanam, etat punyam akyanam, Vishno Viropabrammitam, Kirtaye Shraddhaya Shutva, Karma Pasher Vimuchyate, Etat punyam akyanam, Vishno Viryopabhramitam, Kirtayet Shraddhaya Shrutva Karma Pasher Vimuchyate Yayetat Punyamakhyanam Vishnor Viryopabrumitam Kirtayet Shraddhaya Shrutva Karma Pasher Vimuchyate. One who hears and chants this narration about the omnipotence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu is certainly liberated from material bondage without fail. Now we'll go to text 47, which is supposed to be today's text. Yetadyadi purushasya mrugendra lilam Daityendra yutha pavidham prayatah pateta Daityatmajasya cha satam pravarasya punyam Srutvanubhavam akuto bhayam yeti lokam. Yetadadi purushasya mrugendra lilam
Daitendriya yuthapapadpadam prayatah pateta
Daityendra yutapavidham prayata praveta
Daitamajasya satam pravarasya punyam
Daityatmajasya satatam pravarasya punyam
Shrutvanubhuvam akuto bhayam eti lokam
Shrutvanubhavam akuto bhayameti lokam. Etatya adi purushasya mrugendra lilam Daityendra yuta pavadham prayata patedha Daityatmajasya satam pravarasya punyam Shrutvanubhavam akato bhayatam leti lokam. Yaya etatya adi purushasya mrugendra lilam Daityendra yuta pavadham pateta Anybody else? Etadya adi purushasya mrugendra lilam Daityendra yuta pavidham prakrita pateta Daityatmajasya cha satam pravarasya punyam Shrutvanubhavam akuto bhayameti lokam. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Prahlad Maharaja was the best among exalted devotees. Anyone who with great attention hears this narration concerning the activities of Prahlad Maharaj, the killing of Hiranyakashipu, and the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Nrsimhadeva, surely reaches the spiritual world where there is no anxiety. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Romapada Swami Niti Namini. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namini. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharin Nirvishesh Shunyavadi Pachacya Deshatarini. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurattushe Namo Namo. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpati Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadra Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. So, in this canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, for the last few chapters, we have been reading the wonderful narration of the pastimes of Prahlad Maharaj and Lord Nrsimhadev's appearance. In the previous chapter, Lord Nrsimhadev appeared and he killed Hiranyakashipu, the evil father of... I already had it. Thank you. The evil father of Prahlad Maharaj. And he then in the last... and Prahlad Maharaj offered beautiful prayers because Hiranyakashipu after killing... Nrsimhadev after killing Hiranyakashipu, he was so fierce and nobody could even approach Nrsimhadev. Even Lord Brahma or even Lakshmi Devi herself, she couldn't approach because of the fierce nature of Lord Nrsimhadev. And so Brahma advises Prahlad Maharaj and instructs Prahlad Maharaj to pacify Nrsimhadev. And so Prahlad Maharaj offers wonderful prayers in that connection, and finally Lord Nrsimhadev gets pacified, and then he asks Prahlad Maharaj, what benedictions that I can bestow upon you. And of course, what did Prahlad Maharaj say? I want beautiful kingdom, nice wife, all the wealth. Did he say all those things? No? What did he say, Gandiva? He actually said that he doesn't want any benedictions, especially material. Because, why? Because he said, I am satisfied. I am fully satisfied. In fact, he says, I am fully satisfied. I don't want any benedictions, because if I get any benedictions, then actually I am going to be bound to the material world. I don't want any benedictions. And then the only thing that he requests is, I want every one in this material world to be liberated, actually go back to your Godhead. He doesn't want anything for himself. He actually wants everybody else to be bestowed upon the spiritual strength so that they can go back to Godhead. And then, of course, he offers many wonderful, beautiful prayers. We have gone through those for the last few weeks. And then, finally, even though Prahlad Maharaj didn't wanted anything, Nrsimhadev gives him a benediction. And what is the benediction that he gives? You will rule this entire universe until this end of this Manvantara, and then you will come back to my abode. But you will not be influenced by any material energy. That is the benediction. That is the greatest benediction. Because when we perform any activities in this material world, sooner or later we are going to get pulled into this material bondage. But that is the benediction that Nrsimhadev bestows upon Prahlad. And then he he advises Prahlad Maharaj that you perform whatever the ritualistic activities that you need to perform for your father. And also, in fact, he also gives the benediction. It states that a pure devotee of the Lord actually for 21 generations of the forefathers get liberated or go back to Godhead because of the devotion of the personality. And so then Lord Nrsimhadev goes back to his abode, and then Lord Brahma installs Prahlad Maharaj on the throne, and then Lord Brahma also gives him some instructions, and then Lord Brahma and the other demigods also depart. And then who's actually narrating this whole pastime? Narada Muni to Yudhishthir Maharaj. Because the scenario was that after the Rajasuya Yajna, when Lord Krishna killed Shishupal with his chakra, Yudhishthir Maharaj sees that Shishupal's soul merged into Lord Krishna. And so when Narada Muni visits soon after after that episode, Yudhishthir Maharaj kind of asked this question. Why is this? What happened? Because this personality, Shishupal, was the most abominable personality. He was like saying all kinds of offensive things to Lord Krishna. And how did this happen? And so that's when this whole narration of Jaya, Vijaya, and these four Kumaras visiting. So basically Narada Muni kind of narrates this whole story about who these personalities, the Shishupal and Dantavaktra and all these personalities were. So basically, in this chapter, since I'm supposed to be giving the summary also, so that's why I'm covering this story. So Narada Muni basically says that this is how Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, who were Jaya and Vijaya, basically were killed by the Lord, and then they appeared in this age as Shishupal and Dantavaktra, and that's how they were killed by Krishna. And then they are also, what is the other incarnation? Lord Ramachandra's incarnation, they appeared as Ravana and Kumbhakarna. And so he briefly kind of explains these are the things that happened. So these personalities actually appeared in these different ages, in these different forms, and they were finally killed by the Lord, and then they went back to Lord's abode. And of course, they also appeared in Lord Chaitanya's pastimes also. Who did they appear as? Jagai and Madhai. But Lord Chaitanya, being the most merciful, munificent incarnation of the Supreme Lord, what did he do? Did he kill them? No. He actually gave them Krishna Bhakti, Prema, Krishna Prema. So that is the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. So the topic in this text that we are discussing is that it says that anyone who with great attention hears this narration concerning the activities of Prahlad Maharaj, the killing of Hiranyakashipu, and the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Nrsimhadeva surely reaches the spiritual world where there is no anxiety. So how do we become free of anxiety? That's the question. Just like how Prahlad Maharaj, he didn't exhibit any anxiety, did he? What all did he had to go through? Right? So much. Because often devotees or say, oh, Prabhu, I have so much going on, I have so many problems. But do we have problems of Prahlad Maharaj? Huh? Not even probably a minute, minuscule portion of Prahlad Maharaj's problems. So let us examine what are the qualities of Prahlad Maharaj that we can imbibe so that we can become free of anxiety. What are some of the qualities that you can think of when you think of Prahlad Maharaj? Kristen? Huh?
There was a lot of trust and faith.
Faith, unflinching faith, right? Even though he was being dropped from the cliff by his father's servants, crooks, he was a baby boy. Did he say, oh my God, I'm falling? What did he say? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. He just remembered the Lord. Jai Shri Radha Nila Madhava ki jai, Shri Radha Giridhari ki jai, Shri Giri Raj Govardhan ki jai, Shri Nitai Gaurachandra Nitai Chaitanya Chandra ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai. What else? What is another quality that you can think of? Yes, Carmen.
Tolerance and compassion.
Wonderful. Tolerance. How did he exhibit tolerance? I mean, he was put through so much misery or so much torture by his father. But did he ever complain? Did he say, why am I going through? I'm a good person. Why am I going through all these bad things? No. And he never even questioned his own father also. Did he say any bad things to his father? Did he say that Krishna is looking after you? He's going to come. No. He never even he never exhibited any of those things. He simply tolerated. And if the prasadam is little spicy, oh my God, this prasadam we cannot eat. Right? It's hot, it's too hot. It's cold, it's too cold. Huh? It's one Maharaj was saying that if the prasadam is spicy, think that you are like a sadhu at Radhakund. You are going on a bhiksha, right? You are going to beg things because that's what the sadhus do. They don't complain, oh, you didn't give this thing properly or that thing properly. They think that this is whatever they received is Radharani's mercy. We have to learn tolerance. I mean, we cannot keep on complaining about this and that and on these people. Then actually our consciousness is going to be not developed. It's actually going to get contaminated. We have to learn tolerance. And what was the other one, Carmen, that you said? Compassion. So how did Prahlad Maharaj exhibit compassion? Who are the people that Prahlad Maharaj exhibited compassion on? The fellow students. He taught them the glories of Krishna. Who else? Father. Even though he was such an atheistic personality, he still told the glorification of one way or the other. He glorified Krishna, and also after Nrsimhadev killed his father, he still prayed to Lord Nrsimhadev, please liberate my father. That's when Nrsimhadev says that 21 generations of your forefathers are already liberated just because of your devotion. And who else did he show compassion on? Exactly. He said, actually, he requested, I want everyone in this material world to be liberated. I don't care I don't care about myself. In fact, the prayer that he does is that Naivo dvije paraduratyaya vaitaranya twadvirya gayana mahamrutam magna chitta sochetato vimuka chetasa indriyardha. He says, O best of the great personalities, I am not at all afraid of material existence, for wherever I stay, I am fully absorbed in thoughts of your glories and activities. My concern is only for the fools and rascals who are making elaborate plans for material happiness and maintaining their families, societies, and countries. I am simply concerned with love for them. So he is actually saying that he is not concerned about himself. Why is he not concerned about himself? What does he say? Twadvirya gayana mahamruta magna chitta. Tvad, your, virya, glories, gayana, singing. Mahamruta is the very nectar. Magna chitta. I'm totally absorbed. I'm totally absorbed in your glorification, in your chanting of your holy names, chanting of your glories. So I don't even have to worry about it. But I'm worried about, I'm concerned about all these people in this material world. How are they going to get back to you? So please bestow your mercy on them. Right? So, what else? What is the other one that he... So actually in the fourth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Narada Muni explains there are three things that we have to learn from this pastime. There are three things that we need in order for us to be in order for us to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He says, Dayaya sarva bhuteshu santushta yena kenava sarvendriyopashantyacha tushyati ashu janardanaha. By showing mercy to all living entities, which is dayaya sarva bhuteshu, showing compassion to all the living entities. And then santushtaya yena kenava. Santushta means being satisfied. Somehow or the other. Oh, I only have this, I don't have that. No, whatever you have, whatever you receive, understand that that is the mercy of the Lord. And be satisfied, fully satisfied. And the third thing is, sarvendriyopashantyacha. Sarvendriyo. All your senses should be fully controlled from sense enjoyment. If we have those, if we can perfect those three things, then we can quickly satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Prahlad Maharaj actually exhibited these qualities in his own life, in his own pastime, and was able to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And what happened when he was able to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead? What happened? The Supreme Lord provided him all the protection. Right? He was being crushed with the elephants. He was being given poison. He was being thrown off a cliff by his own father. But nothing happened to him because he was totally under the protection of the Supreme Lord. He was totally free of anxiety. He never exhibited even a minute anxiety in any of these situations. Because he was totally immersed in these three aspects, in these three attributes that he perfected. And who else actually exhibited these qualities we can think of? Actually, Srila Prabhupada had very similar, if you think of Srila Prabhupada's life story, he had this almost very similar to Prahlad Maharaj. He had a family issue also, right? Because his wife was not favorable to his Krishna consciousness. Just like Prahlad Maharaj, father was not favorable to Krishna consciousness. But what did Prabhupada do? He tolerated it. And of course, when the time came in, he decided to do what he needed to do. And also, he went through so many obstacles. He went through so many issues, right? He was, what was that, in Delhi, right? When he was trying to distribute back to Godhead magazines and the books, one time the bull came and gored him, attacked him. He tolerated it. And then, of course, when he was coming on Jaladuta, he had 2 heart attacks. But he tolerated. And he didn't have any disciples. He didn't have anybody that he knew. He left his beautiful Vrindavan Dham residence in Radha Damodar temple. He was 70 years old. There was no, we are 40, 50, 20 years, 30 years old. So, we don't want to leave our comfort zone. But he just wanted to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He was completely tolerant, and he was completely satisfied with his situation. He never complained that I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have my disciples. He spent so many years in India before he came to the West. He didn't have any disciple other than that one person from the League of Devotees. But he never lost his unflinching faith, as Krishna was saying, in the Lord. And even when he came to the Boston Harbor, he sang that beautiful prayer. He composed that beautiful prayer where he said that, this place is full of people in the mode of passion and ignorance. Almost, actually Prabhupada says that almost full of. But what is the fact? Actually, it's full of mode of passion and ignorance. Not almost. But Prabhupada was being compassionate. He was giving the benefit of doubt. And so he went through so many, so many aspects of showing tolerance. And then finally, when he was in New York, the only thing he mentions that he did was he used to go to the Tompkins Square Park and used to chant for 2-3 hours every day. Right? And so with that mood, actually it almost not appears, but in fact, it is said that, I heard from someone that Srila Prabhupada actually gave more classes on Prahlad Maharaj's pastime than any other topic. It was just not coincidence, because he was totally in the mood of Prahlad Maharaj. And the same thing with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Chaitanya, right? It is said that when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was staying in Puri, where did he used to go to do his Bhagavad Katha? Who was his Bhagavad Katha mate? Gadadhar Pandit in Tota Gopinath temple. So every day he used to go to Tota Gopinath temple, and Gadadhar Pandit, he used to ask Gadadhar Pandit to narrate, read Bhagavatam. And the thing is, they always used to read only 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. And Gadadhar Pandit, after he completes the whole 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, then Prahlad Maharaj's pastime, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is like, read again. Like that, 108 times it is said that that they had the same narration, the same Bhagavad Katha on Prahlad Maharaj's pastimes. Why? I mean, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Radha Krishna Nayanya. He is Radha and Krishna together. So why did he have to hear Prahlad Maharaj's pastime? Why he could have gone directly to the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam and heard about Lord Krishna's pastimes. But he was totally immersed in the mood of Prahlad Maharaj. And of course, he wanted us to follow his example, because we are the followers of Lord Chaitanya. Right? And the same thing Srila Prabhupada also exhibited. Who else? In Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's, of course, Haridas Thakur, right? Who is Prahlad Maharaj in Chaitanya's pastimes, Chaitanya Leela? Prahlad Maharaj. It is described that Haridas Thakur also went through so much tolerance. Right? He exhibited so much tolerance. He was beaten in 21 marketplaces because he was born as a Muslim, and he was chanting the holy names of the Lord. And in fact, in one of the Mahaprakash Leelas of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu shows his back, his own back, showing all the beatings that actually were given to Haridas Thakur. In fact, I took all those beatings. I protected, because Haridas Thakur was totally immersed in my consciousness. So I protected him, just like Nrsimhadev or Lord Krishna protected Prahlad Maharaj through all the tortures that he was facing. Same thing, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually gave personal protection to Haridas Thakur. And so, actually, it's almost time. And also there was another personality in Lord Chaitanya's pastimes. Who's that? Vasudeva Datta, right? Vasudeva Datta was also an associate of Lord Chaitanya. And what was the prayer that he did? He prayed that, what is the prayer?
Give me all the karma of everyone.
Yeah. I am willing to go for everybody's, whatever the reactions, I am willing to go to the hellish planets and face the consequences, face the reactions for eternity. But please deliver all the living entities. Same prayer as Prahlad Maharaj, minus the hellish part. Because he was totally convinced that I am coming back. Because, what is the thing that he said? Twadvirya gayana mahamruta magna chitta. I am totally engrossed in your gayan, chanting of your names and glories. So that's what we need to do. And then we have to also practice. What are the three things that we talked about? Tolerance, right? Dayaya sarva bhuteshu, compassion, right? That is compassion on all the living entities. And then, santushtayena, right? Fully satisfied with whatever we get, whatever we have. Right? It's hard. It's hard. But we have to learn to be fully satisfied with whatever we have. And what is the third one? sarvendriyopashantyacha. Control all your senses from sense gratification. If we do those three things, we can also imbibe this mood of Prahlad Maharaj. And we can also be able to, and of course the last one is chanting the holy, always chanting the names and the glories of the Lord. So if we do those things, then all the problems we will be able to get through, and we will be able to actually be able to go back to Godhead, right? And we will be able to be free of anxiety, of course, in this world. That's what the theme of this verse was. We have a couple more minutes, maybe. Any discussion, any inputs? Shishi Radha Nila Madhava ki jai, Shishi Radha Giridhari ki jai, Shishi Giriraj Govardhan ki jai, Shishi Nitai Gaurachandra Nitai Chaitanya Chandra ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Gaura Premanande. Any realizations? So what are the three things, Krishnan? What are the three things we need to learn from Prahlad Maharaj?
Compassion, sense control, and satisfaction.
Satisfaction.
Yeah.
Very good. All right.
How does Prahlad Maharaj exemplify sense control in this pastime?
Sense control. He was going through so many situations, but he never. Actually, the last thing, right? When Nrsingadev asked him what kind of benedictions you want, he could have asked for anything. He could have asked for the best of the best kingdoms, the best of the best wife, the best of the best things. But he was totally satisfied with whatever he had. And in fact, he didn't wanted any of those things. Just, I want to come back to you, your abode. Yeah. So he didn't had any personal desire, because sense control, controlling senses, what happens? Because when you have desires, material desires especially, that's when you cannot control your senses, because it's like putting ghee on the fire. And that's where he was like, I don't want anything. I don't need anything. Mm-hmm. All right. Anybody else? Yes, Prabhu. Oh, yeah. Today is also Srila Narottam Das Thakur's appearance day or disappearance? Disappearance day. So, of course, Narottam Das Thakur was a very exalted personality. He wrote many beautiful prayers and that we chant every day. And also, anybody wants to share some glorification of Narottam Das Thakur?
A very amazing personality. Composed his own songs and then traveled and sang his songs. And by that method, got so many people to take up pure devotional service. And Srila Prabhupada said that his songs are as good as Shastra. So this person was so deeply realized that his own compositions were imbued with the mood and the potency and the philosophy of our Shastras. It's really incredible when you think about it.
All right.
Also, the Guru Puja song that we sing is one of his own writings.
Yes, yeah. All right, we'll take Srila Narottam Das Thakur ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Gaura Premanande. Hari Hari Bo.